Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Fanatic. Thank you so much for joining us. There we go, that's better. We've been having trouble, so I just want to go ahead and apologize right off the bat. We were supposed to start at 8 o'clock, but the internet gods were trying to stop us, and now it is 8:30, but we will not be stopped by internet gods. We will fight. Fanatic will win. All right, so enough of that. Today, I bring you the most wonderful person in the world to interview today. We have Mr. A. Mr. A, say hello.
Hello, how is everyone?
Well, we're doing good on this end. So, Mr. A, go ahead. We're going to jump right into your questions and tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from and where you're currently living.
I am originally from Anchorage, Alaska. I was born and raised in Alaska, and currently I am just outside of Portland, Oregon, in a place called Beaverton. So,
Oh.
yes, and I'm a personal trainer in Southwest Portland.
So that is your official day job. You are a personal trainer. And I actually have lots to ask about you because I'm very interested in Portland. So I didn't know you were originally from, or you're living in Portland now. So I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm somebody looking in the market for a house over there. So
That's
we'll concentrate the most we can on what we're here for, but I'm sure I'll probably slide in a few other ones. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so tell us your real name.
my real name is Colin Anderson.
Colin Anderson, okay. And you go by Mr. A. Is that a gamer tag, a cosplay name?
Actually, it's what I went by when I was a substitute teacher. Uh, I got the Neo reference from Matrix a lot, Mr. Anderson, and I really hated it every time I walk into a classroom. So I just tell them to call me Mr. A, and it kind of solved that issue. And it just kind of stuck. So,
You know, it still sounds very Matrix-like. It's like, Mr. A, you must choose between the blue and the red.
yeah. Uh, it doesn't quite solve it, but it helps a lot. So, and it's just easier.
Very cool, Mr. A. All right, and tell us about your Facebook page. It's called CrossFit.
Yeah. I've been looking at fitness for a long time, and when I went to school for it, they said to choose one of the four big groups, which are training the elderly, the obese, students, or athletes. And they were like, you should choose one of these. And none of them really appealed to me. And I was like, can I do nerds? And they were like, I guess. They had no clue what it would look like or how it would go. And I didn't know what it was going to look like. And I did my first con earlier this year, and suddenly it clicked with me that here's all these people that are putting huge amounts of time, money, and effort into these amazing costumes for this crazy event that is so much fun. Why don't I have people put the same time, money, and effort into themselves and get themselves healthy along with it?
Very cool. So, you said you went to school for, did you go to school in Alaska or did you go to school in Portland?
In Portland, there's a school called NPTI, National Personal Training Institute.
Mhm.
I believe there's 13 different locations around the nation, and so I went to the one that's right here in Portland.
Very cool. And so you chose nerds, and so I have to say, are you a nerd yourself?
Yes, uh, I didn't always go into fitness. The fact that I'm here now is hilarious to me. I have a BA in theater. Um, I have been playing RPGs since I was a little kid. My favorite toys were Legos. I love Tolkien, Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, um, the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. Like, I love fantasy of all kinds, and having done theater, cosplay was the next, I guess, genre to slide into.
Yeah, I'm very similar in the same aspect. I went to school for theater myself, and then I've always cosplayed when I was younger, but I didn't really take it, I guess, more serious until later on after I was done school and, decided to really take a good stab at it. So, you had said that you went to a con, your first con earlier. What was the name of the Comic-Con, and what was it like for you?
I went to Wizard World Portland.
Oh, that's
That
cool.
was actually the one that was on the first episode of Heroes of Cosplay.
Can we
And
see you on there?
yeah, the funny thing is, I didn't know really anyone when I went there. My friend and I went, and we were just kind of hanging out, and I met so many people. And so when I saw that show, I saw that Steven, the guy who made the Totoro, who got third place,
Yes.
uh, that was tremendous. Devious cosplay. She did a steampunk Harley Quinn,
Hmm.
things like that. So I got to meet some of these people, and then seeing them on television was fantastic for me. Uh,
That's very cool.
yeah,
Did you dress up?
I did. I went as steampunk Joker. Um, I I didn't have the time and money to really find like a purple suit, so I
Mhm.
ran around and put together whatever I could from whatever I had, and then got a few other bits from Goodwill, and it turned out surprisingly well. And I've actually updated that cosplay for the last one I went to, which was Rose City,
Okay.
and I'll probably just keep updating that one as well as making new ones.
Yeah, sometimes it's always easier to just kind of stick with one for a bit, show it off, and then move on instead of trying to always come up with a new costume every time. So does that mean you are a cosplayer? Like, how long have you been cosplaying, or is this more of a recent thing?
Well, like I said, my first one was this year. I've been to three now. So that one, Rose City, and then I went up to Jet City in Tacoma.
Hmm.
And I have at least two more on the books. I want to do Wizard World again, and then I'm going to go to Emerald City, I believe in March.
Yes, I've also heard of that one. Are you going to come up with a new costume, or are you just going to update your or keep going at the Joker, steampunk Joker?
My next cosplay I really want to do, depending on getting the material, is adult Harry Potter. So him as Auror. Um,
Very cool.
yeah. So I want to do more of a military style costume. So
Oh, that's awesome. Actually, never seen that. So you might be onto something there. Um, okay, so we'll go back to your personal training. So tell us a little bit about like your journey into like getting fit and helping others.
um, so like I said, I wasn't always into fitness. Through college, I was still pretty fit just because I was doing a whole lot of dance and stage combat. So
Okay.
that kept me active. But as soon as college ended, I was eating the same, but definitely not very active at all, and I actually got big. And a few years ago, I realized I was getting moobs and decided I had to do something about it. And I was embarrassed to even go to a gym. So I spent a few months at home doing like workout videos and things and dieting on my own before I even felt comfortable enough to go to a gym.
Wow.
And it's been about 5 years now. Um, I went from my heaviest, which was over 200 pounds, and I'm now down to like 155.
Wow.
And yeah, so it took a long time, but I'm really happy with where I am now.
That is really awesome. That's it's and I feel like it would connect with a lot of people because people who sit behind the computers all day play games, it's like the same thing. You just kind of let yourself go. So a lot of people become very embarrassed. So it's quite an inspiration, like to tell people to get up off the couch and go exercise. Now, is that part of something of your Facebook page? Like, can people contact you and be like, I don't, can they contact you about tips for exercising, what to do, and all that kind of stuff? Like, what does the Facebook page serve?
Facebook page, I put on like either random funny things or like today I posted a before and after photo of one of my clients. It's actually something I believe I sent you guys. And then, but people are always free to message me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And any information that they can Google that's very general, I have no problem giving out. So if they want to know like what the average paleo diet looks like, what I'd recommend for a beginner week for 30 minutes, don't go crazy, don't injure yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then slowly work up. Uh, a lot of people go from totally sedentary, haven't eaten anything other than fast food in 5 years, and suddenly they do 5 days a week of heavy workout, try to eat lean and green, and they make it for about a week, and then they give up. And it's not sustainable to go 0 to 60. And so I tell people to start taking baby steps and make it a sustainable and healthy life alteration. So
yeah. So would you say that's probably the best way, like, to tell, like, can you kind of explain to your audience maybe what the best way to lose weight is? Like, if someone's just trying to drop some pounds, you know, what would be the best way to go about that?
Best way is I would recommend finding out how many calories you need to maintain what you are right now. You can either go to any gym, they should be able to calculate that for you, or you can get a rough estimate on myfitnesspal.com. If you plug in your numbers, it should give you a rough estimate, like you need 1,900 calories to maintain what you are. If that's the case, eating 250 to 500 calories less than that a day will give you a slow but sustainable weight loss. So nothing drastic, nothing crazy. Anything where you drop a lot of weight very quickly, you either need to know what you're doing very well, or you're going to lose a lot of muscle mass. And if you do that, you actually burn less calories over time and are likely to blow back up even further than what you started at. So
baby steps and just stay consistent with it. What about, like, food wise? Like, you know, some people don't like vegetables, for instance, because, like you said, they've only been eating fast food their whole life. So obviously a lot of fast food usually doesn't require veggies or something healthy for the most part, besides maybe some protein. But I mean, what would you recommend for people, like, eating wise, who are like, ew, I don't like vegetables? What else can they do? Like, what are the baby steps they could take to do that?
Finding a good multivitamin. I'd recommend anything that doesn't have a really waxy coating on it. Centrum, I don't mean to bash their brand, but a lot of times it will go right through and not dissolve because of that coating. And then stay away from gummy vitamins, because they actually...
So good!
I know, but they don't stay, the nutrients don't stay good on the shelf. When they're initially made, they're great, but we don't know how long they've been sitting there, and they actually, their value decreases over time. And so the longer it sits there, the less it essentially becomes nothing more than a gummy bear at the end.
Yummy.
Yeah, delicious.
But you're just eating sugar and not really actually getting any vitamins. Because part of me, when they first came out with that whole line of, like, it's like gummy vitamins for when you were kids, and I'm pretty sure that is... I just looked at it being like, this can't possibly be real. Like, there's just no way I can get nutrients from my gummy vitamins, even though it's delicious. And yes, I have taken them in the past, you know, just because I wanted to see. But yeah, I just was like, there's no way possible that I'm getting any kind of nutrients right now besides sugar in my body.
I hate to say it, but unless it tastes kind of gross, chances are it's not doing what you want it to do. For those who really, really don't like vegetables, I would say find the green leafy vegetables you do like. So if you hate broccoli and hate asparagus, but love green beans, go for green beans. Like, find what you can deal with. I would say, if you can, switch out sweet potatoes for regular potatoes. That's a good alteration you can make. And then just really look at, you know, what you cook things in. Go for olive oil over canola oil or Crisco. I want to kind of set the record straight. If you're going to drink soda, which should be an occasional thing, not an everyday thing, but if you're going to do it, drink the actual stuff. Don't get diet.
Don't get diet.
Even though it has 0 calories, you're actually more likely to get a belly off of diet soda than you are from regular. So, and then just plan those calories into your day.
Yeah.
So if you have 1,900 calories and you have a 150 calorie can of Coke, there you go. You have 1,750 calories left.
Yeah. So. That's interesting. I've always heard that, you know, like everything, because nowadays it's either sugar-free or they have this, but from what I understand, there is like something in that sugar-free stuff that your body actually doesn't digest. So it's just better to go ahead and have the cupcake full of sugar, because at least, even though the sugar is going to turn to fat, your body's actually able to digest it. And if you slowly start to work out, then your body's going to burn the fat. So I have heard that it is better to just have it fully loaded and just try and work it off later, basically.
Essentially, yes. And then make those things a sometimes food, not a everyday food. I know.
No, that's very cool. All right, and I'm gonna go back a little bit, and I'm gonna ask you about your dance and stage combat, only because I myself have danced many years, and I actually am doing stage combat now with a couple of projects that I'm doing. So, what kind of dance did you take?
I was required to take ballet, tap dance, and I did hip hop and ballroom.
Oh.
And I will say I'm a terrible ballet dancer. I just was never flexible enough. And tap dance was probably laughable if you saw me. I've done hip hop since I was 13, so I'm actually decent at that. And then ballroom, I would need a refresher course, but I did okay at that as well. So, as for stage combat, I got at one point certified in 8 different weapons and had a blast. So,
I'm gonna pause you just for 1 second. We have a question in the chat. It says, Mr. A, do you approve of dairy in your paleo diet?
If you're going paleo, I would recommend no. But I don't think paleo is the end-all be-all of diets. And so if you are someone who has to have dairy, such as cheese, maybe paleo is not the diet for you.
Now, for some of our viewers, can you just briefly explain what the paleo diet is? Maybe they have never heard of it.
Paleo, they suggest that it's more like what caveman would eat, but it's a lot of lean protein as well as red meat, and then you're avoiding all starches. You're avoiding things like peanuts. You can have other nuts, but you can't have peanuts. And so it's a lot of lean green vegetables. You're looking at a lot of sweet potatoes and then a whole lot of meat. It's really clean. It's pretty good for you. But at the same time, I get the feeling that it's somewhat a fad diet because of how quickly it came in. And especially since it's tied to CrossFit, which is fantastic like movement, but at the same time, because of how quickly it came in, it definitely kind of feels like a fad. So yeah. I tend to I tread lightly with those.
Okay. It almost sounded like Atkins too. Let me see. It also says, have you ever heard of Body by V? I think that's saying that right? VI?
I have heard of it. I don't know much about that one.
Okay. And one other question, other than paleo, what particular diets maybe you would recommend?
I think a standard diet that I would recommend to anyone, especially if they're just beginning, would be trying to get 50% carbs, 25% healthy fat, and then 25% protein. And what a lot of people don't really think of is when they say I'm going on a carb-free diet, they pretty much mean starches. But carbs can be anything from straight sugar to bread to broccoli and celery. Those are all carbs, as well as fruit. And then healthy fats would be avocado, coconut oil. You're looking at olive oil, things like that. So you should have healthy fats in your diet.
Okay. I agree. So
there you go.
Very cool. So we'll go back to your hip hop dancing now. I just didn't want to miss those questions in the chat. So you were pretty decent at hip hop, is what you were saying before?
Yeah. I actually went to a club in Alaska called Club 99, which was essentially an all-black club. And for whatever reason, me being a little white preppy boy, they thought it was hilarious and like invited me on the floor and tried to teach me what they could. So.
Oh, that's awesome. And stage combat, what kind of stage combat do you have under your belt?
At one point, I was certified in rapier dagger, Hollywood single sword, small sword, unarmed, dagger, sword and shield, broadsword, and quarterstaff.
Wow, that's even more than myself. So very impressive. What made you decide to do stage combat? Was it just another form of exercise, or you just were interested in that stuff?
It looked really cool, and it was offered as part of like my curriculum for my theater degree, and I was like, yes, of course I will be doing that. It was wonderful, and it was actually some of the best acting training I got.
Yes, if you can wield the sword and act at the same time, you're golden.
Yes.
So are you trying to make your way down here to LA? It sounds like you were starting up north and now you're slowly merging down, or because I mean you have theater, you've got dance, you've got stage combat under your belt. Were you always planning on doing something with that?
I wanted to go into acting for a long time, and then realized, even though I'm decent at auditions, I'm really bad at getting to them or finding them. And so realizing that's the job of an actor, like once you get a job, that's your playtime, but finding your jobs is your job.
Yes.
I don't think that I'm cut out for that. So I'm actually looking at possibly moving to Seattle just because there's actually quite a few cosplayers up there.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
I really want to turn this into possibly a business one day, and actually provide places where, you know, cosplayers can feel safe and secure coming and starting to work out maybe for their first time ever.
That's really awesome. Yeah. I have heard that up north there from me, because I'm here in Los Angeles, that there's a huge cosplay community up there, more so than even out here in LA. LA, I don't think really has. I mean, they get the big Comic Cons, but I feel like the community, I just haven't really found a big enough community where, you know, even just being on Facebook, I feel like up there in the Pacific Northwest, you guys have like this huge group up there, which I think is really very cool. Which is why part of me is deciding to move up to Portland, which is why I was interested in, you know, of that earlier. But yeah, I think that's really cool. All right, moving on here. Let's talk about, now you say you're a nerd, so would you consider yourself a gamer at all?
Yeah, I especially like the old school RPGs.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 1 through 9, excluding 8. I know, travesty. But I don't know. I feel that they've gotten so into the graphics now that the gameplay just isn't what it was, and I really like the old school ones.
No, that's cool. You like what you like. Are you strictly a console player, or do you go online and play? Do you do both?
I've done a little bit of online play. I did World of Warcraft briefly, till I realized it was all-consuming, and I had to back out. Diablo 3, I play now and again. Excuse me. And like Armor games and Congregate, I've played some of those. Kingdom Rush like consumed my life for a while. I loved that game. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Any League of Legends at all? I just started playing that, so it's.
I have not. I feel like I need to because there's so many cosplayers who play it. But no, I'm worried that it's going to be like World of Warcraft and be too time consuming. And wow.
You might just get caught up in it. Here's my thing. My thing with League of Legends is it is very fun to play, but you, because it's like super hardcore, you like die really quick. So for me, there was no problem with turning off my damn computer, being like, all right, I'm done with this. So you might want to try it out, you know, give it a feel and see what happens. But it's kind of, it's not really missions. You're just kind of battling each other. So after a while, I feel like you just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm done. We're like, I feel World of Warcraft, I play that all the time because it's like, I have to go on the next mission. Yay, I just leveled up. Now I get to go on this mission. So it's just like lots of quests and stuff, where League of Legends isn't quite like that. So you might be able to turn off your computer if you start playing.
Fair enough.
All right. And you mentioned you were also a fan of Tolkien. So I'm assuming you're a big fan of The Hobbit.
I was more of a fan of The Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit, I was so sad. Like, they have how many people around the world who would fly out to do whatever they wanted. They wouldn't even have to pay them, and they computer animated all of those goblins. And there was a few things like that. I was like, oh, you just kind of went the easy route this time.
Hey.
But overall, still love the story. You know, Ian McKellen is still amazing. And
Ian McKellen.
who else could play both Gandalf and Magneto? So, yeah, there's part of me that was hurt, but at the same time, seeing it on the big screen done that like that, I was still excited and happy.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. It's like with Lord of the Rings, that whole trilogy was so awesome. I like how they took the time to, put prosthetics on people and try and create what they could and only use CGI when they needed to. Where I feel in The Hobbit, they were just like the white orc. I was like, I'm not really scared of a cartoon, so you could have like had this big tall dude to put prosthetics on him and make him look really cool and badass, but it's just CGI now, and I'm like, you're not that scary, so.
Yeah. So, I wish they really would have done more prosthetic work.
Yeah. So. Keep it more reality and, creative, I guess. But, when all the paychecks are going to the big guys, it's Hollywood. You probably understand.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, we're almost finished here, but just a few more questions for you. What would you say, since you're talking about like cosplay and training and all that, what would your ultimate goal in life be? Like if you could just are you looking to just do training cosplayers for the rest of your life, or do you have a bigger picture in mind?
I do have a bigger picture in mind. Now, no one goes stealing this idea. What I eventually want to do is start a cosplay university. There's not a place right now where you can go to train to make props. There's only a few places that you can go to get trained for special effects makeup, for costumes, things like that. And so to start a university where all of those are in one place, specifically for cosplay, either to do it for yourself or to work for Hollywood or to sell to other cosplayers. And then also having other classes such as dance, other arts, and then
stage
fitness.
Combat.
Yes, and fitness, to put that in there. So that would be my ultimate dream if I could make that happen.
Wow, well, I think that is brilliant because you're right. We don't have something like that specializes, almost like a trade school, I guess you would say, where you just go in and you learn specifics on what you want to do with, whether it's sewing, stage combat, and I really prided myself on learning stage combat myself. So it's like I can cosplay and I actually can do what video game people can do, like that was the whole point. So I think that's a great idea. And I hope that you're able to do that because I will either would love to teach in your classes or, just be a student. So that's awesome.
I would love it. And plus a lot of us know a lot of bits, but I don't think there's one person who can say they're great at everything: makeup, metal, leather, sewing, all of that. So
aspect of modeling, like a lot of girls, they're not comfortable with their bodies enough. So there's, that a good picture that comes out of it won't be there if they can't pose right. So that is a good, that's, like I said, that's a brilliant idea you have.
Yeah. So I'd be excited if we can make it happen.
All right. And so what is your whole philosophy on training? Like if I were, say, to hire you out to be a personal trainer, like what is your philosophy that you would tell me if I were to be like, I want to hire you as my personal trainer? Like what would you do to inspire me to work out?
I would say the biggest thing that I could probably do to inspire you is to show you who's come before you, including myself. I am a lazy person by nature. If I don't have to be somewhere, if I don't have to do anything, I will sit and watch movies and read and do all that. So the fact that I somehow made it to a fitness show, like, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And then from there, making, sustainable steps, so not going crazy. I don't want to kill you. I'm not here to, put you into the ground to show you, how good a workout I can put you through. I want to make sure that you're hitting your goals, but still be able to do the rest of your life. If you can't walk the next day, that's not good. My goal is to make you be able to include this as part of your life and not crush the rest of your life. So,
Well, that's good. Yeah. A lot of people, I think, are very worried about that. And having, going to the gym myself, I hear so many girls who are trainers like, oh, you're hurting me. Nah, nah, nah. Like, they're always so sore and they complain. And part of me is just like, will you just shut up and do it? But, it's like you're there, you might as well just do it. But instead, they sit there and they complain the whole time about it. But that's nice that you're not going to be like pushing them so hard, because I feel that's also a problem too, is they push those girls or guys very hard to like train and squat and do 100 squats and do this, where it's like sometimes if they're already sore from the previous workout, you can't keep pushing them, even though yes, the end result will be great, but you might end up hurting somebody if you're not careful. So I think that's a great philosophy to have.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, do you have, having been in the cosplay industry, do you have any kind of cosplay crush, or would you say like a superhero video game crush that you might have?
Like a particular character, Black Cat. I've probably had a crush on Black Cat since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
My first like animated crush, I don't even know how old I was. Jessica Rabbit, but I think that's every guy had a crush on her.
I think I had a crush on her when I was little. I was like, oh my God, she's so great.
Yeah, well, she was not only just the look, but like her attitude, like, I'm not bad, I was just drawn that way. Such a great line. But yeah, I think I have talent crushes on a number of different cosplayers just because I see their armor or I see like what they've created, and I'm like, I think I'm attracted to you just because I want you to make my costumes for me. So, no, there's some tremendous people out there, and no, I'm just thrilled to be a part of this community.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's a cosplayer you might want to check out. I don't know if you already follow them or not, but her name, and I believe she has, I don't know if her boyfriend goes under the same page or has a different page, but it's called Lightning Cosplay. I think she's like overseas, but her armor and everything is so amazing. So if you're not already following her, go check her out, because I follow her on Facebook, and she's always creating new armor out of Warbler and all. I mean, just amazing stuff that, Skyrim and Dragon elves, whatever, she's always making it. Her and her boyfriend make these amazing armor cosplay. So definitely check her out if you're into that kind of stuff.
Definitely. And then I actually have some friends who are doing espionage cosmetics up in Seattle now, and they make makeup for nerds, and I got really excited about them.
Now, what does that mean, makeup for nerds? Like, explain just a little bit. Not giving away too much, but I mean, what's nerd makeup and,
Yeah, so they do like nail wraps, so they do a lot of Ninja Turtles, so each one is a different Ninja Turtle. They have themed makeups, so they have a Firefly one, so they have a makeup called Shiny, they have and so they're named and themed. There's a Fire and Ice line, things like that, and
wow.
I thought that was brilliant.
No, that is brilliant. I'm already ready to buy my Ninja Turtles nails. It's like, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so no, this community is great, and the amount of great ideas and things that we love and are turning into other things that we can also love is fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and since we're just about out of time, I want you to tell all of our viewers and people where we can stalk you on social media.
Actually, the best place right now to stalk me is at Facebook/cosplayfitness. Or I guess it would be just cosplay fitness, or if you're on Facebook already, just COS space FIT, and I should be I have an Instagram, which is also CosFit, and so you can check me out on both of those places.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. A. You have not only been an inspiration, but you've been such a great guest for us. I really appreciate you giving us little tidbits about working out, just being a gym bunny myself. So I'm always looking for new ways to improve my workout. So thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored. So
yeah, please come back anytime. Next time we'll have we'll make sure we get a long line of questions from you from the audience about workout plans and food. So, yeah. All right, everybody, that is our show today, Fan Fanatic. My name is Jennifer Kairis. I am your host, and you can follow me on Facebook at Jennifer Kairis Cosplay or on Twitter at Elvin Huntress. And thank you so much for watching. We will see you next Tuesday.